Thank you for joining this virtual press conference with San Francisco Mayor London N. Breed. For press who wish to ask questions, please include your name, outlet, and up to 2 clearly stated questions in WebEx chat. And now we welcome Mayor London Breed.
Thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. I am excited to be here today because we know that most recently we have a vacancy in the city administrator's office, and I am so proud to announce that I am nominating Carmen Chu to serve as San Francisco city administrator. Many of us know Carmen over the years. She has served the city and county of San Francisco since 2005. She currently serves as our assessor recorder, and in that role, she's responsible for managing a team of over 200 people. Under her leadership, the assessor's office has successfully reversed a decades-old backlog of assessment cases while generating over $3.6 billion in property tax revenue annually to support public services in San Francisco. Had it not been for Carmen's leadership in that role, we would have a budget that was deficient in the amount of $3.6 billion. That gives you an indication of how amazing and how valuable she is to San Francisco. Such achievements have earned her office the prestigious 2020 Good Government Award, an honor recognizing excellence in public sector management and stewardship. She currently serves on the San Francisco Employees Retirement System Board, where she oversees the investments and policies of a $26 billion public pension system in San Francisco. Assessor Chu has really stepped up during COVID to lead our Economic Recovery Task Force as one of the co-chairs. This was not in her job description, nor was it her responsibility. But when I called Carmen to ask for her help because we needed all hands on deck to address the challenges that none of us thought we would be dealing with COVID, she immediately said yes. And with her leadership, the task force developed 41 recommendations and policy ideas to make the city's economy stronger, more resilient, and more equitable. Prior to her tenure as assessor recorder, Carmen Chu was an elected representative of the Board of Supervisors. And let me tell you, when she served as budget chair of the Board of Supervisors, there was no one who was more fiscally conservative and focused on equity and serving the public's best interest and made sure that we understood the value of every single dollar we spent. There was no one more of an advocate in that role than Carmen Chu when she served as the budget chair of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. She also served as a deputy director of public policy and finance for Gavin Newsom when he was mayor. She's been actively engaged in really changing bureaucracy in San Francisco on so many levels. And just to go back to some information about the assessor recorder's office, which was experiencing a lot of challenges, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of confusion. The work that she did to put everyone, for the most part, on an electronic system and to reorganize the files in that system was pretty amazing. Now, I know it's very bureaucratic, I know it's very technical, but to make San Francisco work in a more efficient way that provides information to the public in a way that people can understand so that they can pay their taxes and they can do whatever business they do with the city. The work that she has done has really been about making sure that the average everyday citizen in San Francisco who's not connected to City Hall, who's not involved in City Hall in any way, that they have a voice and they have some level of understanding and access to the resources we provide. She is the only Asian American woman elected as assessor in the state of California, and she is the daughter of immigrants. Her family worked hard to make sure that she had some amazing opportunities to succeed in life, and boy, has she made them proud. The city administrator's office consists of more than 25 departments and programs that provide a broad range of services to other city departments and the public. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so honored to introduce the next city administrator for the city and county of San Francisco, Assessor Recorder Carmen Chu.
Good morning, everybody. And first off, I just want to say thank you so much, Mayor Breed, for your confidence in me. I am humbled and I'm honored by your nomination. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
If confirmed by the board, of course, I look forward to working not only with you, but also with the board to make sure that we continue to move San Francisco forward. Now, I want to speak a little bit about my parents as I start off with this. My parents were immigrants. Mayor Breed spoke about this a little bit ago. And my parents had a small restaurant when we grew up, and we all grew up, my sisters and I, working at that restaurant. I tell you this and I share this with you because so much of our service, so much of what we do in life is grounded by our life experiences, how we were raised, the people who loved us, those who supported us, those were part of our lives. And what they taught me was the importance of making sure that we provide honest day of hard work and that making sure that you do everything you can and every single role that you play is important. But they also taught me the importance of helping those who are in need. Like my parents, not everybody starts off with resources. Not everybody starts off with money, with support, and not everybody starts off with even the ability to communicate or speak English. And I think it's recognizing that so many people start off from different places, that it's a privilege when any of us have the ability to serve in the public capacity. It is this grounding, this belief that government can serve, and the belief that government can help to support people, especially in their greatest times of need, that gives me the privilege and honor of working as a public servant for the City and County of San Francisco. First off, I want to recognize the people of the City Administrator's Office. Your responsibility is a big one. The span of your responsibilities serve as a backbone for all of the city's operations. And I really want to thank you, a heartfelt thank you, especially during this time when we're asking you not only to carry on with that work that you do, but also to do double duty, especially as we continue to respond to an active global pandemic. This is something that is not easy, and I know that San Francisco is better off for all of the work that you're doing, not only in your existing roles, but also in the extra work that you're doing to make sure that we respond in the best way possible to serve our city well. To the people of the assessor's office, I just simply put, want to tell you that I will miss you. We've built a really great team in the assessor's office, and we've accomplished so much together. Things that seem insurmountable to do, reversing a decades-old backlog, helping to make sure that we exceeded revenue expectations by over $500 million since my time, making sure that we are completely overhauling outdated tools and systems that we have in our office. These may sound boring to many people, but honestly, it is this kind of attention, this kind of work that really drives change and excellent public service. I want to thank each and every person in the assessor's office. I've really enjoyed working with you, not only on all of these accomplishments that we did together, but also just seeing the professional growth and challenges that each and every one of you took on. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you've done. And I hope that you'll be able to carry on all of these accomplishments and this legacy with you as you go forward. And finally, I just simply want to close by recognizing and thanking the contributions of City Administrator Naomi Kelly. I understand that your decision was a difficult one, but I want to thank you for all that you have done for the city to help lead us, especially during this time of global pandemic, when we've needed the support to lift up so many of the things that we've done. Your accomplishments are not to be diminished, and I simply want to say thank you. So with that, I'm available, of course, for any questions, and I'm really honored for this responsibility coming forward.
Well, thank you, Assessor Chu, and we are so honored that you are willing to take on this new responsibility. I just want to provide members of the public with just a little bit of information about the City Administrator's Office. They are responsible for overseeing things like animal care and control, the Office of Cannabis, the Medical Examiner's Office, and the Real Estate Division, the Technology Division, our community challenge grants, our grants for the arts program, the Mayor's Office on Disability, risk management, like all of the things many of the things that make the city run. And oftentimes, we may have an interaction with any of these departments and not necessarily fully aware that they are all within the scope of the city administrator's office. It is a major responsibility, one that I know you are up for the task. And I am excited and grateful that you are willing to put your hat in the ring and allow yourself to be nominated for such a position. So thank you so much again, Assessor Chu. And with that, we can open it up to any questions.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Breed and Assessor Chu, for your remarks. Before we start the question and answer portion, we're going to take a moment to allow reporters to submit questions on WebEx.
Okay, no questions, Leo?
Okay, thank you. Okay, when Mayor Breed, the first question comes to you from Joe Fitz with KQED. Mayor Breed, did you ask Ms. Kelly to resign? If so, or if not, why?
Well, many of you know better than to ask about personnel issues. The fact is we cannot discuss them. And so we will not be discussing anything regarding anything that's personnel related.
Thank you, Mayor Breed. And should she be confirmed, are you tasking Carmen Chu with any specific tasks to address the allegations of corruption within the city that would be in her purview? What are those tasks?
So just to be clear, last year, when many of these allegations first began to surface, I immediately sent out an executive directive asking our city attorney and our controller's office, as well as all city departments, to not only investigate many of the allegations, but to also look at ways in which to strengthen our policies so that we can make sure that the things that we saw happen or that people are being accused of are not easy to be able to happen moving forward. And so what we did was to make sure that people are on alert, that they are making recommendations and changes to their policies for the department. And there is not a doubt in my mind that Carmen Chu will be able to manage and facilitate her own department and make the appropriate changes necessary to address many of the challenges that we have heard about over the past year as it relates to some of the departments.
Absolutely. And if I could just add to that, I think in any person who is assuming a role, whether you're leading an organization as the assessor or in city administrator, one of the things that all of us will be doing is looking very, very closely to make sure that we have the systems in place to ensure that there's transparency in how we're delivering our public service and how it is that we run our organization. So these are all things that I'm absolutely committed to. It's a fundamental piece of making sure that we have public trust and that we continue to serve San Francisco well.
And there is no public servant more respected, who has more integrity, who just basically is one of the most incredible, admirable persons that we have serving the city and county of San Francisco than Carmen Chu.
Thank you both. There are no additional questions for Mayor Breed. The next question is for Assessor Chu and comes from KTSF. As the first Chinese female administrator, what does this mean to you?
I think this is it's always a heavy responsibility. I recall back when I served on the Board of Supervisors. At that time, when I was nominated into the role, I was the only Chinese American supervisor serving in the entire San Francisco Board of Supervisors. And since that time, much has changed in the city, but I think any of us who fill these roles understand that we play a very important spot in making sure that not only do we lead the way, but we also create opportunities and we help people see that no matter where you come from, no matter where you started from, there's an opportunity for you in this seat in government that no matter whether you had resources coming in or whether you were immigrants, that you had the opportunity to serve. And so I think serving as the first Chinese woman as a city administrator, I hope to be able to put my mark on creating a San Francisco government that works well, that earns your trust, that is delivering services that you can be proud of in San Francisco.
Okay, and just one moment.
I thought someone was going to ask me about taxes.
Okay.
The only questions about taxes is why is my bill so high?
Indeed.
Okay. The next question is, what's Carmen's first responsibility after the nomination? And that comes from Skylink.
I think immediately, especially during this time when so much of the city's response to COVID is important, it's going to be very, very important for us to make sure that we continue to deliver on what's necessary to respond not only from a public health perspective, but also to support the city in our economic recovery. First and foremost, that has a huge impact not only on the lives of San Franciscans, but also on our operations. And so a big focus that we'll start on right away will be to start taking a look at making sure we continue to support those efforts, that we do that in an excellent way, and that we also begin to look forward to what the future needs. In addition to that, we're going to continue to look for more efficiencies. What's going to happen is that we're going to be going through a very tough time. I think the city is understanding that not only are we going to be coming back from recovery, but that's going to mean that we may have fewer resources at exactly the time when San Franciscans need us the most. And so that's really going to require that we do more, that we work harder, and that we're creative in terms of how we deliver the best services possible to the city. So in my role, we're going to be taking very much a close look at this recovery effort, how we support that recovery for the city as a whole going forward.
Okay, there are no additional questions. This concludes today's press conference. Thank you, Mayor Breed and Assessor Chu, for your time. If you have additional questions, please email mayorspressoffice@sfgov.org. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again.